14th, 2015 meeting of the Wakefield Board of Selectmen. Seeing no public participation, we will move right on to our next item on the agenda, which is personnel and appointments. And at this point, I'd like to call up Police Chief Richard Smith. Chief Smith is here to talk a little bit about a great honor that he was awarded. He was elected as Vice President of the International Association of Chiefs of Police. He is only one of 4 Vice Presidents worldwide that holds this honor. And I'll let you talk a little bit more about that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate the opportunity to be here. Before I begin, I'll be very brief because I know people have things to do tonight. But first of all, I want to thank Mr. Mayo for his support in this endeavor. A year ago, when I was at the International Chiefs Conference in Orlando, Florida, I was asked by the leadership if I consider running for Vice President at large for the International. So I thought it over for about 10 minutes. And then I had some conversation throughout the whole conference. I came back to Mr. Mayo and I told him what was going on and what I was thinking of doing, and I needed his support. And he unequivocally said, you know, go with it, go run for it. So I ran a campaign this past winter. Many of you probably don't know, but I traveled all over the country on a campaign fund that I had raised through my committee. And after capturing the key states in the country, the other candidates actually pulled out and allowed me to go in next week in Chicago as the Vice President at large. So as a result of that work and the support from Mr. Mayo, I will be one of the Vice Presidents, 4 Vice Presidents, 2 Vice Presidents at large for a 3-year term, which will take me through October of 2018. It's a very humbling experience for me. It's a great career move, but I think it's also very good for the town of Wakefield. And that's my focus. My focus is the town of Wakefield, because in 3 years I'll be retiring. When I end my term, Massachusetts law, Group 4 says I have to go. So it's a great way to wind up my career, but it's also a great opportunity to share what I can pick up on the international scale with people of Wakefield and you, and I really appreciate your support. Just a little bit about the ICP. The ICP is an international organization. It represents 25,000 police chiefs across the world. We have 7 foreign offices. The headquarters is in Alexandria, Virginia, and we represent 121 countries around the world. So it's a big task, but I did promise Mr. Mayo in the beginning that no matter what happens, no matter how this goes, my job, my paying job is right here in the town of Wakefield. And Wakefield comes first, the ICP work comes second. So thank you for the few moments to speak a little bit about it. It's kind of overwhelming right now, but in another week, it'll be official, and I'll probably say, what did I get myself into? But thank you. And again, thank you for your support.
I mean, I think it can only help Wakefield to be associated on such a large scale, you know, our little town, to have our chief be one of the vice presidents. And what an honor. You've brought best practices to Wakefield. You've brought certainly a code of honor and respect, the officers walking the street, how they treat the citizens, while still focusing on our safety. So well deserved, and I think it's a wonderful tribute to Wakefield and yourself.
Leanne, just one thing while you're on that. I think of a lot of the success here is because of the people, the men and women that work at Wakefield PD. We have a tremendous command staff. We have a chain of command that is second to none, that steps up every day, does the work they have to do. They do it, they never complain, they work really hard, and it goes all the way from the deputy chief right down to the newest employee. I mean, even the 2 new sergeants that came on a couple of weeks ago, they've jumped right in. So we really have a great command staff, and what I'm doing couldn't be done without not only your support, but the support of that command staff. So.
Thank you. You and I kid around an awful lot, okay? But I have the utmost respect for you. I mean, day in and day out, you do a yeoman's job of everything that you touch, the entire group of officers. Congratulations. This is a great honor.
Thank you.
So I expect a lot more out of you now.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Yes.
Chief, congratulations.
Thank you.
Now you're not only a police officer, chief of police, you're also a politician now, running campaigns nationwide.
I'm done next week. I'm done politicking next week.
Well, congratulations. Well-deserved. Kind of echoing what Ann said, you know, your legacy will live on after you leave here. You know, you bring in all your officers, you know, anytime there's any kind of a commendation, you bring them in front of us, and it's, I think that the department is in good standing for the long haul. I think your work will carry way beyond the 3 years, and, you know, thanks for all your service. Thanks for being so dedicated to the town, and I'm glad that the rest of the country is recognizing it. Just, yeah, make sure we get you for the next 3 years, that's all.
Thank you.
Phyllis?
I don't want to repeat what Selectman Pat has said, but everything that he said is true. And you know, my personal feelings about you, I've seen you, I talked to you, I think you've done a great job. You're one of my most favorite people in town, and I'm very proud of you, and I want to congratulate you. I just couldn't happen to anybody better.
Thank you, Phyllis. I appreciate that.
Yes.
Congrats. Well-deserved,
Thank you.
you know, really. I'm not going to belabor it, but I'm very happy for you.
Thank you, Betsy. I appreciate that.
Can I say? I gotta say something.
Absolutely.
I just want to say how important this is, what an honor it is for the chief, and we've talked about this, but what an honor it is for the town of Wakefield, that, you know, we're a town of 25,000 people, and our chief is a vice president of the International Association. I think it's fabulous, but what really matters is what you bring back. And the chairman spoke about it. The best practices, you know, we have an accredited police department because the chief and working with the staff over there. That makes a difference. And I think we're seeing that in the community. We're seeing all of the initiatives that you and your team and your officers are bringing forward. So I look forward to continue working with you on this. You didn't invite me on any of your campaign trips, but that's okay. We'll talk about that later on.
Wisconsin in February, did you really want to go there with me?
But congratulations.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you, Mr.
great.
Mayor.
Great. Thank you so much, Chief.
Thank you, Chief.
All righty, thank you.
Great job.
Okay. Moving to the next item, on the Sweetser Lecture Series, can I please have a motion and a second to appoint Faith Hodgkins to the series?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Betsy, second by Paul, all in favor?
Aye.
And next appointment is the Permanent Building Committee. Are we appointing two?
You're appointing two,
Okay.
yep.
Move
So
them.
we need a motion and second to appoint Jerry Hammersley and Jason Cohen.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Betsy, second by Paul, all in favor?
Aye.
The Albion Cultural Exchange Committee, we need a motion and a second to appoint Michael Salvatore.
So moved.
Moved by Paul, second by Betsy, all in favor?
Aye.
And lastly, can I please have a motion and a second
That
to,
might take a few minutes.
okay.
To remove the slate?
You can if you, I think it might take a few minutes.
Oh, okay.
Madam Chairman?
Yes.
I will recuse myself from any of these votes right now if it be recorded in the minutes.
Sure.
Thank you.
Public hearing.
Yeah, 7:40.
Oh, 7:40,
Okay,
yep.
And then we'll go back to that.
Okay, so in less than a minute, we need to open the public hearing. So do the folks from Gas and Light, would you like to come to the table? And can I please have a motion and a second to open the public meeting, and then we'll have a roll call?
So moved.
Second.
Yes.
All in favor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Aye.
Yes.
Aye, aye.
Yes.
Okay, seeing it's 7:40, we're welcoming two folks from the Gas and Light Department.
It's always a pleasure for Dan and I to come to the Selectmen.
Great.
I want to apologize for whatever misunderstanding was at the last meeting was scheduled. I will tell you, Dan and I did not know it had been scheduled, and on the good side, though, Dan is going to have the opportunity since then to take a look at the plans and probably improve what's before the board anyway at this time. But before we do that, this is a point of personal privilege, and I won't go on long. Just from the perspective of an old selectman, it really is a credit to this board and the chief that we're really in a I mean, we had tough times for a long time in this town. And now we have a department that has accreditation. You know, we have a chief that's been recognized nationally. We have a force that has received prestigious training at many places all over. It's, you know, it's an environment that you set, that the chief, you know, has nurtured too. It really is a time to enjoy in Wakefield. And I congratulate you and the board, and the chief for that. And also, to show you how much I've learned over the years, for the specifics of this, I'm gonna turn to Dan Flynn to
Smart man.
talk about the polls and everything.
I didn't know I was gonna have that honor here. But well, obviously, the meeting that we have for tonight, if you can look on some of the information that we sent to you, we're petitioning for the location of 3 poles to be installed along Salem Street. We installed some new telephone poles along that area. We're reconductoring the area, which means we're pulling some new wires in that have to do with our new substation at the intersection of Montrose and Salem. And along with that, we've put some new taller poles. So the petitions that we put in, 2 of those are for what we called guy poles. Guy poles are a steel pole. They measure approximately 35 feet. We place them across the street from where some of our poles are, and quite easily they're there to hold, take strain off poles when we get into angled poles, cornered poles, and there's no conductors on them other than one steel guy wire that crosses the street and goes to a pole that, like I said, is on somewhat of an angle, whether it's, you know, something over or under 45 degrees. We have pictures here of the 2 locations that we want to do that, and if you people would like them, we can pass them around. We also have some spec sheets here. Spec sheets are just the construction of the guy poles themselves. The certified guy poles, we have a local contractor build them for us, so, Gene, you want to pass these? Sure.
Thank you.
If we want to go pole by pole, one of the requests we're making is for, let me see, the two guy poles, one is near the intersection of Chapman Road and approximately 35 feet northeasterly of pole 71, to be numbered pole 71S, and that is a steel guy pole. Now, at that present location, this is in front of 363 Salem Street. This is showing 360 Salem Street now with nothing there, but this is a picture of that same address from Google Earth 2007. As you can see, we had a wooden guy pole there at that time. Somewhere after 2007, I believe, a car hit it and knocked it down. So we actually had a pole doing the same thing at that time, but previous to after 2007, we just don't know the date that it was knocked down and taken out of there. So we want to put a steel guy in that location. And we want to explain why we need to put one back up there in case any of the butters that came, we want to have that explained to them. The next one, where there isn't one, I can show you the location on here, is at the intersection, the next intersection, which is Chapman Road. It's approximately 50 feet from Chapman Road. There isn't anything there. We wanted to give you the sight line, the 2 houses that it would go between. But over the last couple of weeks, looking into this project, we're gonna be able to re-engineer that, and we probably won't have to put a guy pole there. But whereas it was on there, we figured we'd explain it to it. It seems like the guy pole that we need to put at 363 Salem Street will do the job of both. So we're gonna be able to eliminate one there. So that makes it easy for us. Those are the 2 guy poles in question. We also need to set a new 50-foot wooden telephone pole, and it's written up as Salem Street near the intersection with Lowell Street, approximately 32 feet southerly of pole 63. This new pole will be numbered 63. This is a picture of that location now, and it's actually at the, like it says, it's at the intersection of Salem Street and Lowell Street. And in this picture, you'll see on this side of the street, that's prime gas. There's been a telephone pole there for years that kind of has a major lean to it. It's somewhat in the parking lot of the new gas station at Prime. We'd like to get it out of there for that reason. So we plan on setting a pole, a new wooden pole, across the street from that location, which is marked here. It's in front of the wood, the firewood and wood chip business there. And the reason we want to put that is, like I said, it's a multitask there. We want to get it out of Prime's parking lot. It's an eyesore the way it looks. If we get it over there, we can get all those cables that cross the street there, we can get them higher in the air, and which is gonna do the wood chip place, the firewood place a favor by getting all those cables higher in the air. And we're gonna take that eyesore that's in the outer edge of the Prime gas station's parking lot. That is a location where there isn't a pole now. So, I hope I wasn't too technical.
No, that was excellent, thank you.
I hope you didn't go on too long.
I hope I didn't go on too long.
No, it's perfect. Does the board have any questions or comments?
Are we
What?
are we eliminating lowercase ii, 22?
That's what I thought, my same question.
Oh, okay. Great
Which one are
minds.
we going to eliminate?
We're doing the first one, but we're gonna eliminate the second, is that it? You said we didn't need a guide, why there?
A2, the Chapman Road one?
That's correct.
Okay, so you only need a motion for A1 and A3. Am I correct in that?
That's correct. I'm just checking I wanna make sure that my address is correct, because that's 363 there, and I don't have an address on that. But I believe that to be true.
Okay. Then, Madam Chairman, I'll make a motion that we accept the proposal under A1 for Salem Street near the intersection of Chapman Road, as explained by the gentleman from the MLD.
Second for discussion.
Certainly, yes.
I want to hear
Discussion.
from the public if there is any.
Absolutely. Does any member of the board have any comments before we go to the public? Or any questions on the first poll? No. Does anyone from the public have a point on or question on the first poll we talked about? No? Okay, hearing none. All in favor of the poll, Salem Street near the intersection of Chapman Road, the poll numbered 71-S, the placement of that poll. All in favor of that?
Aye.
Great.
Madam Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we accept under A3 Salem Street near the intersection with Lowell Street, approximately 32 feet southerly of pole number 63, to place one pole to be numbered pole 63.
Second for discussion.
Certainly. Does any member of the board have any questions on this poll? Public? That's you, yep. If you'd like to, you need to come up. Come on up. You're welcome, everybody.
It doesn't stop when you come out.
And if you could just identify yourself, sir.
Willie over at Willow Tree Flower Garden. I don't have objection to the pole being moved or any of that. The only thing I wanna know is, when are they gonna do it, and how are they gonna do it? Because when they were working at the other entrance to my place one day, you know, they put cones on, they blocked me right off. Nobody can come in or out of my business, I mean, so. I wanna know if it's gonna be done in the next week or 2 weeks, or if it could be done in the first 3 weeks of November, because the first 3 weeks of November is more or less like more of a slow time for me, and then I get Thanksgiving, the day before Thanksgiving starts, Christmas trees all over again. It's gonna kill me if they block me out that time of the year.
Good questions.
Willie, we know each other,
Yeah,
because
no,
I've been
I
over,
got, like I said, I got no problems with what they're doing.
What, to be honest with you, what I wanna try to do, I wanna try to get that up within the next week. And if the last time we were there, because we have set so far like 9 poles out of 11 on that whole stretch of road. If last time some of the cones we put up inconvenienced you, I want to apologize for that. If I was there, you certainly could have spoke to me. When we do go to set this next one, as soon as I can get it set up, I will speak to you the day before. I'll find out where we can put some cones and how we can block the road so it won't inconvenience you. But I hope to do it sooner than later.
But, all right, as long as I know, because I get loads of firewood coming in.
If you tell me you have a load
But
coming
the
in
thing-
and we want to do it on Tuesday, I can
I'll
certainly.
work around it, but the
Absolutely.
problem I have.
We'll do the same thing, we'll postpone if we have
Yeah.
to, whatever. Yeah.
But the problem I'm worrying about is, you get the pole down one day, the pole's up, it's over. Now you start pulling wires over there. Are you gonna be pulling them, from, whatever, 3-4 days before Thanksgiving till Christmas?
Well, I can promise you that any and all of the work that we have to do at the light department as the electric division, we would get that done as soon as possible. We've run into delays with Verizon and some of the other entities that are on the poles, okay? So I can't guarantee when some of those other entities
Well, I
can get
think I
out
should-
there.
I think I should have a little guarantee that you're not gonna shut my business down, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I don't, it's from day before Thanksgiving to probably 3-4 days before Christmas right now is a crucial time for me, because you shut me out and I get stuck with a half a load of Christmas trees, I can't sell them next year. And I'm not saying, I know I'll work with you, I have no
Sure,
problem.
'cause we've
But-
worked together
but-
before and
but
everything's been-
What the situation is, if Verizon doesn't wanna cooperate, and then they just say, Willie, the heck with you, and what do I do? I mean, I think I should at least be able to have something done.
I'll tell you what I'll try to do for you is I do have some contacts in the outside construction department of Verizon, and I will give them a call and try to get them out there as soon as possible, because there is gonna be a situation with somebody out there that owns a business, and it's time critical on when they can be shut down and when they can't.
But the thing is they sit here tonight and they approve this here, right here tonight, right? Then, I'm trying to say it in a nice way, but the heck with Willie, because if Verizon, I'm not saying the local power company, if Verizon says it, it's the heck with Willie, because they already approved it, and then, I mean, can't we at least give me the 3 weeks, or 3.5 weeks, so I can keep my business open? Then after that, I'm closed down for 2.5 months anyway. That's all I'm asking.
Betsy?
I think what this board has to do, with all due respect, is to approve the progress that needs to be done. Or these gentlemen would not be here tonight asking for it. These are things that are critical, that have to be done before probably the snow flies or any terrible storms. I don't know the condition of some of the poles there. And as you must know, there are no guarantees in life. We can't guarantee a single thing, because we have the vagaries of weather that could interrupt these gentlemen that may be willing to
Emergencies.
work on emergencies or anything else. So, I'm just not gonna, as I said, there are no guarantees, but this board has to move forward and follow the rules and regulations of what is out there, and to give these gentlemen the, more than the opportunity, and I hate to use the word permission because it sounds so, cheeky, but that's the purvey of this board, and that we have to do it. And there's all kinds of things, especially in New England, that can happen. But these people need to be allowed to do what they have to do.
In response to your statement, you asked a local power company, gas company to come in here, or they asked to come in here for this, and they're giving you an idea of what they're gonna do, then you know something, why didn't Verizon or AT&T have to come into this meeting and say they were gonna do it? They're on the poles, they're out there moving wires,
We're installing guide poles to support poles.
That's right.
but there's, don't, wait a minute. If I understand this project, I could be 100% wrong, and I'll apologize. They're installing 2 new poles, which are taller poles. Then they're gonna string new wire on these taller poles. Wakefield Power Company's gonna string their powers on it, their lines on it, which I have no problem with, because we could work together very fine. As we well know, when you're waiting for the cable company to come to your house and they don't show up, they could care less, or this one or that one. Why didn't the other utility companies have to come in and present their plan to you before you approve it, is all I'm saying.
Well,
I think Steve can answer that question, and I also, I certainly trust Dan
I
as
do
to what
too.
he
I
said
do too. I
with
want you to
regard to
understand that.
working with you closely, and I think it's only one pole going up?
No, actually, on that stretch of Salem
Right.
Street, we've set 11 new poles. But the 11 new poles that we've set are replacement for poles that are there. So when we replace a pole there, we might take an older 35-foot pole out to replace it with a 50-foot pole, because that's what we're using now. When we change a pole out that's there, as long as we stay within 3 feet, 3.5 feet, we don't have to come in for a petition, because we're going in the same location.
sure.
But in this one instance, there isn't a pole next to Willie's, so we petitioned the town for abutters. So we are changing, putting in a new pole, I'm sorry.
Sure, yeah.
Can I just point out one thing,
Gene.
the experience teaches us, I mean, we're talking about, Verizon, Comcast are following closely on our heels and doing their job. I mean, we have 1,000 double poles in Wakefield, because in 2 years have gone by where they haven't shown up.
That's right.
You may go through 2 Christmases without
I know.
any interference from them.
And I agree with you 100%, but I may go by that all of a sudden they come in on December 4th, and they decide they're gonna come out there with their trucks on the 4th and the 5th and be working at my entrances to string new wires, and Willie's up the creek without a paddle.
So I think Steve had indicated he can, and you can throw it to the folks at Gas and Light, that he can work, ask Verizon when they're coming. We have some control over what they do, certainly on your property.
The reason why Verizon doesn't need to be here to answer your question there is that this is the MLD poll. So MLD is there to set the poll. Verizon comes in when it's a Verizon poll. We've had them a number of times. We've had good luck, or I should say, the light department has had good luck, particularly Mr. Flynn in working with them and Mr. Sullivan. So I would feel that we're sensitive to what you want. I'm certainly sensitive to what you want. You know where I am.
No,
So I think that I trust these gentlemen in the light department to work very well with them to get this done and to get Verizon. And maybe we can go to them right away and say, hey, here's the dates we'd like you to do. Can you do it? We have a business there. We can even try that route. I'm not insensitive to what you need, but
I
I
respect
think we
what
do
they
need to
I
move
respect what
forward.
they're doing, and I have no problem.
But we
with
do
that.
need to move
I do
forward on
worry
it.
about the other two utilities, because I know, I was in that business for a lot of years, and I know dealing with them how they are. And they're gonna come on Tuesday, and then they don't come until the following Tuesday or 2 weeks down the road, and they just come when they wanna come. So what you're saying is I have no guarantee, from
Yes.
Right,
from
yes.
Thanksgiving till
exactly-
then, I have no
that's
guarantee.
That's right. No one has.
Not from Verizon or
No,
us.
but I have no
Right.
guarantee from this board that I'm not gonna be shut down for 2 or 3 days.
How can we give you
We
that
won't.
guarantee?
It's a guarantee they can't get, I mean, the only
Guarantee that.
Ridiculous.
control you have is us, will and will
Right.
guarantee that we're gonna work with you, we're not gonna
Right.
shut you
That's
down.
right.
How much more
And
can
we'll
you do?
guarantee that we'll use every
All
contact
right,
and
that's
effort that
right.
we have. so
I
they
can,
won't-
I can,
And I feel very
No, I know,
confident.
I
I feel
know.
very confident.
I don't want you
That's
shut
what I'm
down,
for.
I want, I mean,
No, I understand. feel
I
very
have
confident.
contacts with the outside construction people for Verizon. I deal with them almost on a weekly
You get,
basis.
this is getting repetitive.
It is.
I mean,
Yeah.
And
Can I ask
can
one
deal
other
with
quick
them.
question before I leave? Are we gonna have one police officer out there when we're in the intersection, or what are we gonna do?
An intersection like that, I usually discuss it with the foreman that's gonna be out there, and if he tells me we need 3, I get 3. So we like to make it
I
as
just
safe as
wanna know what's
possible.
gonna happen. Okay, I'm all set now. I
Thank
guess.
you.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Willie.
Thank you.
So we need the vote, I think, on
Right.
A3. All in favor of the placement of the poll number 63?
aye.
Aye.
Excellent. All right.
Thank you.
We need a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Yes.
Aye.
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 All right, we're all set.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.
Don't go yet, please.
Don't go yet.
Miss Madam Chairman.
Phil
I didn't
is
mean to
out
say
of-
uh-oh out loud.
That's an internal voice.
I never had the opportunity to personally thank anybody at the light company, and especially Mr. Sullivan, because where I work at the bank, we really had a very serious problem with lighting and people not being able to see, and it was that way for years, really years. And when I called and asked for Mr. Sullivan to try to help to do something, even the president of the savings bank couldn't believe it. And I really personally.
I'll take your call, I'm not taking this call.
I want to, really, what you
Yeah, Brian.
did for us,
Yeah.
and I think the light company tries to do whatever they can that way. That was really tremendous, and it was
We appreciate
great.
that. You are
And now
easy to
we
work
can
with,
see,
but we
and the
appreciate
lights
that.
are on, and we're able to park and know what we're doing, and I want to thank you for that.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you both so much.
Thank you.
Okay, so moving to agenda 2E, which is a motion, I need a motion and a second to appoint poll workers. Steve would like to make a statement with regard to that motion.
Do you wish to?
We have-
Oh, can I, oh, I have to leave. I've been thrown out of better places. No offense. I just thought I could recuse me, I'll just leave the whole room. What do I do? Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to say that, you know, as we go through and we try to really improve and streamline every operation that we do at Town Hall, we've also looked at how we handle elections. And in meeting with the temporary town clerk, the head warden, Marilyn Bowen, who has done a wonderful job for years, and I think you all know her. She has white hair, and she's there at town meeting, and she's there at the Greenwood precinct, does a wonderful job. We went out and advertised as we need to do for new poll workers, which is part of our bylaw, actually, that Selectwoman Hull presented at
Right.
town meeting and got approved. We got a lot of new people that want to work for the town in this capacity. We have also streamlined how we handle this as far as pay goes, and Sherry has done a great job of putting this all on Excel spreadsheets that you see now. We're not gonna get little slips of paper with people's names on it. It's really gonna be done much better. We're also gonna bring in training from the state for our new and reappointed poll workers, because elections are changing. In November of 2016, the presidential election, we will have supposedly early voting in Wakefield, which means that for a certain period of time before the election, you don't have to get an absentee ballot, you can actually go in and vote at that time at Town Hall. So there are things that are changing. In that regard, we went out and we've met with everybody, and I think we have together a very good package of people, some who are new, some who are old, have been with for a while, I don't mean old, a mix of Republicans, Democrats, and unenrolled, and I can certainly go through the list, or if you wish, you can vote for it as presented in your package. So it's up to you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chairman, I will make a motion that we vote the slate of as presented.
Second.
And one more thing, this was a slate that was recommended by the temporary town clerk and the head warden,
Do you have
and
the-
I agree.
Do you have the list?
Yes, you have it in your package.
Okay, great. Second.
Second. All in favor of voting the poll workers as a slate as presented?
Aye.
Aye. Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
We need Betsy. Oh, thanks.
Thanks. Oh, what's that?
Moving on to license permits and approvals. Agenda item 3. Can I please have a motion and a second to approve the one-day liquor license for Maureen Miller, Friends of Wakefield High School Basketball, for an event on October 15th from 6 to 10 at the Crystal Community Club, and to waive that fee?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Phyllis, seconded by Betsy. All in favor?
Aye.
A motion and a second, please, to approve the one-day liquor license for John Logan's for an event on November 14th at the Crystal Community Club.
So moved.
Moved by Paul.
Second.
Second by Betsy. All in favor?
Aye.
A motion and a second to approve the one-day liquor license for Caroline Boyle for an event on October 17th from 7 to 11 at the Crystal Community Club.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Paul, second by Betsy. All in favor?
Aye.
And I'm going to jump over to, we're moving to Table D, which is a Class 2 license request.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Tabling. Aye. Can I please have a motion and a second to approve the last license, a common victual license for Red Rami and Jetmir Veritopi of R&J Restaurant Group at 25 Broadway Street?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Is that next to Caparelli?
That isn't it,
Yes.
and apparently they put a lot of money into that
Awesome.
location.
Thanks, Mary. Okay. And moving on to the action items, Agenda 5A. We need to add another warrant for the Green Street incident that happened over the weekend. So we need to open the warrant. I need a motion and a second for opening and then accepting the regular town meeting warrant for November 16th.
So moved.
Second to open the warrant.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Excellent. Do you want to talk?
Yep, and the
Okay.
new item is, as a lot of you know, we did have a water main break at Green Street, right where Green Street and Dillaway intersect, basically, over the weekend. Happened actually Saturday afternoon. And everybody had water back on by early Sunday morning, around 2 in the morning. So that was really a great job, and I think the chairman has some information on that she's going to share with you in a bit. But because of that, unfortunately, we need to repair. We need to repair the water. I mean, we need to repair the water and sewer structures, the roadway and the curbing, what have you. So I appreciate the fact that the board reopened the warrant. We have a warrant article, really is just for Green Street, water main, and roadway repair. This will come out of water and sewer surplus account, and will be added to the warrant. So I would request that you add that and then vote the entire warrant as presented.
So you want a motion then to add the repair work to
Yep.
Green Street to the warrant? That's the first motion that you would want then?
Yes.
So moved. Second,
Okay.
I'm sorry, second.
All in favor?
Aye. Then I'll make a motion to close the warrant.
Second.
Excellent. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then.
And then a motion to vote,
The
to
entire-
approve the warrant, approve the entire warrant.
So moved.
So moved by
Second.
Pat, second by Betsy, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Absolutely, a lot of little votes on that.
It works.
We need a motion and a second to approve the request from the Event Planning Committee regarding the holiday stroll as presented by Mr. Janaka.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you.
Would you like to present?
I can, once again, this is the 7th annual holiday stroll. We're not changing anything in regards to the timeline. The timeline's the same as it was last year. That worked well with most of the merchants. It's closing of the street at 1 o'clock. The event starts at 3. Everyone here is invited to participate in the annual parade that we do from the Civic Center to the steps of the library. We have a lot of entertainment being planned. It's a great night. Farmer's Almanac said it's going to be 58 degrees that day. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. So, it's going to be a great night. I mean, we're really working hard to making this a community event, trying to open it up to the businesses and to get them to market themselves and trying to make this a real well-off day. But it's nothing, I'm not asking for anything different than what we normally ask.
Thank you. We need a vote on that.
Motioned and seconded, I think.
Yep, it was motioned and
Yeah.
seconded for the
Yeah.
event planning. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great,
Thank you.
thank you, Paul.
Thank you very much.
Can I please have a motion and a second to approve the transfer of $1 million to the debt service capital needs account?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Pat, second by Betsy, all in favor?
Aye.
And lastly, a motion and a second to approve the library request to accept and expend a gift or gifts to the library in the amount of $1,504. Moved by Paul.
Second.
Second by Pat, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Excellent. There are some correspondence in your packets. Does anyone have any comments they would like to wrap up the meeting with?
Is it
Starting.
going around the table?
Going around the table or just begin?
I have just 2 items. One was brought up recently just now tonight's meeting, but the first one is, Madam Chairman, could we possibly repost the art cultural exchange vacancies? Right now, we just received the 4th one, but there are still few people out there that really don't understand what it is and how many available spots there are. So, I mean, we're talking about that, but could we just possibly put that out there and maybe get a little more press with it?
Assume we can, yes?
You certainly can.
Excellent.
And then the other issue was that, seeing that Mr. Sullivan brought it up, I'm going to give it a little jab right now. We have over 1,000 double pulls in this town. Is there any way, we keep talking about this, but we don't have it, can't we give it a kick in the, Mr. Mayo? How do we get this done? We've been doing this now since Al Turco was on board.
We can certainly try to push and prod. I will tell you that the Mass Municipal Association has sponsored a number of number of new Massachusetts general laws in this regard. I think the best thing to do for us would be to allow us to do the work and to back charge the companies.
Can we do that without any permission?
Well, we can't touch, no, because we can't touch their wires and what have you. But we will continue to be, to work on that and see what we can do. But I agree with you 100%.
Can we deny Verizon or
When they come
RCN
in
any
here?
further, can we make it an agreement that we won't give them any further permission to put any new poles in?
I wouldn't suggest that this board make that without hearing the poll in front of them, but I certainly think when Verizon comes in, that this board is within its rights to
Maybe-
request those items.
Steve,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, if I may, Madam Chair.
Sure.
How about if we implement a policy that, for one, if they want to put a new pole anywhere, Verizon, they have to remove one double pole?
I'd up the ante.
1 for
Yeah.
5 or
Yeah,
whatever.
oh, yeah, I'd really
I
whack 'em.
think that's great, and if you'd like, I will reach out to them, and, but they've gotta come into us. I mean,
Right.
they haven't been into us in a while,
They have to want it.
yeah. But I do like the idea, yeah.
Thank you.
Madam Chairman, following along with Paul's comment, Steve, can you find out from me when the negotiations are up for Verizon, RCN, and Comcast?
Yes.
Please. Because that's a bargaining chip as well.
Yeah.
Good. Phyllis?
Yeah. I want to bring up the Veterans Day ceremony that's going to take place on November 11th. I have to tell you, every year, one year I was not disappointed, but every year I'm disappointed. It is an absolutely remarkable, wonderful ceremony, and it is a shame that we do not have, now we have the new auditorium, have that filled. So much work has gone into it, the music, the ceremony. It's inspiring, and it would be wonderful. I mean, you see the older veterans there, and it would be wonderful if we could get that auditorium filled. I hope that this year that we will do that, and there'll be a wonderful ceremony in front of the monument with a new tree being planted. So I'm just telling everybody, this is a wonderful country, and we need to be appreciated, so please, go to this Galvin on November 11th. Do that.
Well said. Anything else, Phyllis?
Oh, sorry.
Betsy?
Yes, I just have a few things. First of all, I'm going to speak about the Wakefield Interfaith Food Pantry. People will be out there buying candy and costumes and every other, decoration for Halloween, so forth and so on. Throw an extra $1 into your list and buy something that you could donate to the food pantry. A box of pasta, a jar of sauce, anything, and drop it off. But also, I was contacted. There's also a veterans food pantry here in town. Now, I don't know how many people know about it, but it's the third Wednesday of every month from 12 to 1 at the town hall. Now, the veterans have to sign up, so you'd have to go to Alicia Redden, who's the veterans officer, veteran service officer. And I think, if you don't mind my saying so, you could call Sherry or Steve Mayo and find out, her email address. I'm not going to get into that now. But this is for veterans and their immediate family, and it's the third Wednesday of every month from 12 to 1. Thirdly, a gentleman that's on the Veterans Committee contacted me because he also volunteers, and I apologize for turning on my iPhone, but I have to get the information up here. And he volunteers at Catholic Charities in Somerville, and they also serve as far out as Wakefield. So people from Wakefield can go down to Catholic Charities. Now, it's 270 Washington Street in Somerville, and naturally the people would have to sign up, but I'm also going to give all of the information to Steve and Sherry so that if anyone's interested in that, and that food pantry is held on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 1 to 3:30. So I thank Bob Vincent for that information. Also, in bringing up the Catholic Charities, I wanted people also to know that there are many churches and organizations and fraternal groups in this town that offer dinners and luncheons and so forth and so on. So I'm not just singling out a certain particular one. I know that everybody pitches in, and I'd love to at some time get a list of every group in this town that, when they offer it, what the minimal cost may be, if there's a cost associated at all, so that now that we're approaching the holidays, when
Right.
people are extremely generous in these groups, we'd be able to do something about it. And also, this Friday night, there's a trivia contest. I think it's at the Elks. It's every year. And I usually go every year, and I can't this year because I'm going to something else in Danvers. But whoever gets Paul Broder on their team, trust me, this guy is good. He's good. So I wish everybody good luck at the trivia contest. Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Had anything?
Nothing, thanks.
Very briefly, I'd like to bring up and then you can wrap it up.
Okay, thanks.
The Green Street water main break that happened this past Saturday on October 11th. We've heard from several of the folks that worked on the break. We've heard from people that lived in the area, some of whom suffered a lot of property damage, but one consistent comment that was made by everybody is how really amazing both the gas and light and the DPW were, and how quickly they responded. The main break was quite devastating. It shut down several streets. It also put an enormous amount of water and debris from Green Street down onto Main Street. Again, property damage occurring at some homes. Because the DPW and DPW, with the help of the gas and light, knew that they had a 3-day weekend coming up where Wakefield was hosting a lot of events. They worked tirelessly to make sure that the area was fixed, and they're continuing to do that. Most specifically, Steve Fitzpatrick, who was a supervisor of the DPW, went above and beyond to make sure that the water was turned back on in a relatively short time based on the devastation of the break. Other folks who Rick Stinson wished to highlight their good work were Hector Collado, Kevin Boyle, Dana Brickett, Mike Lima, Mike Kramer, Joe Gaudreau, Steve Bauer, Victor D'Angelo. Furthermore, he also wanted to thank Danny Flynn, who we just heard from, and Jim Brown for their outstanding support of the DPW during this. And finally, John Boyson of the Gas Department was simply driving by on his off time and witnessed Hector Collado trying to shut the Main Street.
Little Johnny Boyson.
Jumped out of his car apparently and helped to protect, to try to minimize the damage. So I think clearly there were issues, there were folks with property damage, but it sounds like the DPW and Gas and Light responded beautifully to make the damage as minimal as possible. So we should be proud of them as well.
Madam Chairman?
Yes.
I forgot to congratulate fellow selectman Pat Glynn that ran the Chicago Marathon, one of 50,000 participants. And so congratulations. I'm sorry, I
It's
forgot.
amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely
Thank you very
amazing.
I'm
much.
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I think that's great. Steve.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Just a couple of things. Police and fire were also involved there, too.
Oh, I'm sure.
So it really
Yeah.
was a collaborative effort on behalf of the whole town. I was out there early Sunday morning with Mr. Stinson, and a lot of those people that were there had been there all night. And making sure that Wakefield kept running. So really a great job by all. And Rick is right that Steve Fitzpatrick and his crew did a great job. They really did yeoman's work. So I'm very thankful. Now, the flip side of that is that because this was an emergency that occurred on Saturday, and certain contractors had to be brought in, and materials and supplies, and you know what, when an emergency comes in, that doesn't mean we're out and we're making 3 quotes and we're going off of bids and things like that. It can't happen. So what I would like to ask the board to do tonight is to declare the water main break on Green Street an emergency effective as of 1:30 p.m. on Saturday, October 11th.
So moved, Madam Chairman.
Absolutely. Moved by Betsy.
Second.
Second by Paul. All in favor to declare that as emergency.
I do declare.
To declare, just to
declare.
declare.
I do.
And that will help us in any of
yes.
the
Right.
procurement issues that we may have.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you. Great job done by all. I also want to congratulate Selectman Glynn, who has run in the New York, Boston, and now Chicago Marathon. Next year, it's going to be LA, and maybe we will fly out for that one, Pat. It's nice
Oh,
over there.
wouldn't that be something?
Thank you, Steve. But the thing I'm most proud of is the charity. All the proceeds go to the Liver Foundation, and I've been fortunate through many of you and the generosity of a lot of the people around Wakefield to raise close to $50,000 for that organization. So
That's great.
it's been fun, tiring but fun.
Great, thank you. At our last meeting, I believe it was Selectman Glynn brought up some of the issues at Lakeside Office Park. We did have a very good meeting with the owner of Lakeside Office Park last week. We went through a lot of the permitting issues. Town council was with me, as was the building inspector. Went through the permitting issues, which are very important, that proper permits are pulled and all of those things are done right. But we also spent the end of the meeting talking about the vision for that site, which is something that this board has talked about and should talk about, because that is a gateway into Wakefield, and we do have a vested interest in making Wakefield as great as we can. I will say that the owner of that property does share a lot of those visions with us. I assured him that we wanted to work with him to make these things possible, that this board was open to suggestions and talking into making that into first-class place. I think that we came away with a sense that he is gonna work with us. There are some timing issues with him, there are some, there are some financial issues, obviously. But I think that was a step in the right direction, and I will report back if he falls off again. And finally, Madam Chair, next meeting, and I know that, give you all fair warning, I know you all love this, I will be presenting a financial report for the town for wrapping up the year 2015. I'll show one of my PowerPoints that you all look forward to, and just want to make sure that everyone was ready for that, so come with your glasses and come ready to roll. It was actually a good year done by all.
Yep. Excellent.
That's it.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Moved by Pat, second by Betsy, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
We're here.